Good afternoon and welcome to Around Town. I'm your host, Dick Patten, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here on a beautiful spring day as we get a little bit of taste of summer after having winter for so long. And which brings me to introduce Chris Pappas, my treasured friend from the Kiwanis Club here in Concord, and guess what? No, it's not the car show. It is the 63rd annual spring fair that's coming up, and when you hear that spring is coming.
Good afternoon, Dick.
Wow, you too there, Christopher. And you had a late Easter this year too, didn't you?
Only a week later.
I know. It seemed like we had ours was terrible, but I know you had yours after this year. But now you're in full gear, getting ready for the big time down there.
By the time they see this, the trailer will be down. That's the indication that the fair
He'll have
will
this
be
on
at the Everett Arena.
And this will be on YouTube within a week or so. So this will get a good month anyway, and he'll send this over to CCTV. But I just can't believe that when I was a kid, boy, we couldn't wait. I mean, I don't remember the Green Street Community Center version, but I remember the Concord Airport, and then of course the arena, the Howie Hotel when it was there, then the arena. But just to see the rides going up, I was wondering what's down there for rides this year or something. It was always
the thrill of it all, the hype.
Yeah. And then of course when you had the booths inside, no matter where it was. I can remember Dad going in and coming out with a bag of pencils.
Goodies.
Yeah, pencils and
yardsticks.
Yes, I know.
That was always a perennial favorite.
It was, yeah. And go in there and you'd see, it was like old home day because you'd see a lot of people that you knew.
I think I still have my yardstick from Endicott Furniture, Clyde Wilbur.
Yeah.
Probably Tenny Fuel.
Yeah, and Steve Bexer was down there once, I know, and of course, Concord Lumber used to come down way back years ago, but Steve Bexer was in there in one corner at one time. Those are things you remember. And I can remember Mark Manus, who had one time, he had all clothing down there, when he owned the Marquee Limited there on Main Street, the clothing shop.
He would always put up a beautiful end display with little running water in the grass. Brochure would come down, landscape it, and he'd have his mannequins there with suits. He always did it up right the first time.
And of course, the Kiwanis Parade always kicked things off on Thursday night at 6 o'clock going down Main Street. And then they moved it to Saturday morning, but then it came back to Thursday night. But now it's a thing of the past. But it was always, you knew when you saw the parade that it was coming.
And follow the parade to the arena.
That's right. They would go across the Main Street, over across Bridge Street to the arena or to the Howie Hotel, whichever it was going. And
isn't it something on 93 you could always see the Ferris wheel through the trees?
Oh, yeah.
And you always knew that there was
something going on.
The fair is on.
Yeah, and I can remember my first ride when I was a kid over there on the grass at the Concord Airport. It was the little train. That was my first kiddie ride I was on. I can remember taking that ride on that.
That's when Bill Muldoon had his Granite State rides.
Yeah. And the Ferris wheel was on the grass too over there. Everything was on the front of that airport. Then as you went through on the runway there, right by the runway, was the big green tents. They had the booths inside. But that's what it was, and it was quite a time. And then they moved it from there to the Highway Hotel. And I can remember the State Ballroom was loaded with booths in there, and you'd hear the organ playing and music going on in there, and outside was the bandwagon would be there, and you'd see the contestants for the Miss Kiwanis Fair walking around with their sashes on and crowns and from the different schools.
Yeah, Miss Concord High, Pittsfield,
Merrimack Valley,
Hopkinton, Merrimack Valley, Pembroke Academy, and Concord.
Bishop Brady, they have one. They must have had one. Yeah. You know, it's just it's memories. I know my wife says I talk about history too much, but it was good times back then. You know, it was good times, and you'd
not
see,
a care.
Yep, and you'd see Mark, my brother. Oh, I can see him. He took over for his on the Grand Estate shows. Mark
Gagne.
Yes, his mother would be in the one of the food wagons, and she'd be working in there, either with the there was an older lady that was always twirling the cotton candy, but then his mother was in either with the candy apples, or she was in the French fry wagon or something there, and the whole family was involved.
So he not only had their eyes, but he also had certain concessions.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it was just one of those, boy, you could always remember the faces and always remember that.
And he was headquartered in Ware, so he was actually living right close by.
Oh, Mark man?
Mark, gone there.
But when he went to school, he was that family lived up on Birdland, up there on Patridge Road there, Oriole Drive, up in that area, off East Side Drive.
Okay.
Because they took the school bus with us. His sisters and him, and he had a little brother and a younger sister, and they took the bus from East Side Drive to Dame School, and then got on another bus that took them to Bishop Brady, or at that time, and they all had their uniforms on. Of course, we didn't know who they were, but
everybody looked alike.
Yep, they did, and sometimes I think we all should have had uniforms. But anyway. They were very quiet. They didn't bother nobody, and But yeah, we can always remember that. The tilt-a-whirl and all that stuff. All the good things that made Concord. It was the thing. It was the thing of the spring, because it was in June, and then they moved it to May. And they tried it back in June, but it went right back to May after that and stayed there.
And the reason was because of high school graduations.
Yes.
And a lot of the people would leave Concord.
Mm. And you had Motorcycle Weekend plugged in there too.
We did not have a very good June spring fair.
Mm.
You're right, and moved it back. So it's always the perennial kickoff of spring.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the fair.
Oh yeah, the fair was coming. And then of course, I don't know about anybody, although of course there's so many new people now in Concord, they don't remember the booths that were inside like we've been talking about. But I miss the booths. I really do. The Grange had them in at the end, and we enjoyed it. We loved it. Because we'd had ours near the 4-H with that little calf in there, and they advertised milkshakes and all that stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, they were right by the door. They had their little pen there with some hay and stuff for the little calf. And we were next to them. And then down below you'd see, there was Northeast Electronics was in there sometimes. There was BD Electric in there. They'd have a display with people actually working at showing them making meters and things like that.
We used to have a lot of sponsored booths. For instance, Morrill and Everett would sponsor the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
There were so many businesses that didn't want to put their thing, but they sponsored a booth.
Yeah.
Which was very good. We used to have over 100.
I know you did.
Over 100 booths back then.
And that home show come in and killed the darn booths. No, it made me mad because it wasn't doing anything for the local people. That was just out of towners. They didn't care about the Kiwanis. They didn't care how it destroyed the fair. Because that was a big deal having those booths inside that arena.
And they were mostly all local.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they
Brought
were.
the local people out. They were your friends, your neighbors. You knew everybody.
That's right. Yeah, they were. And, it was just You know, when you think back to all the faces that aren't there no more. Dick Averill, you know, he's passed, and Mason Blake, you know.
When we had our outside food trailer, we did very well selling burgers and dogs.
Oh, I know, yes.
And
then you had your sausage grinders.
Those sausage bombs were hot stuff.
But you know, and then of course when you think about it, when you first started out, it was just hot dog, hamburger, cheeseburgers, French fries, maybe ice cream. Then they added on the big bloomin' onion. Then came the fried dough. Then your sausage bombs, and now good knows what else is coming in there. But it was always, now it's a big fair food.
Nachos now.
Oh, really? That's the big thing, nachos?
Yeah. Little paper container with your cheese and nacho chips.
Wow. I haven't got used to those. I don't know. I still like, well, I actually miss my sausage bomb, but that was a treat, boy. Those were good days they were.
Well, we'll have to remind everybody of the dates.
Yes, I know. It's
May
coming
17th
right up.
through the 20th.
Thursday.
It's always the weekend after Mother's Day.
Yes, the Thursday after Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is late this year too.
Yes, it is. The way the calendar fell.
And it opens up on Thursday, May 17th, from 5 to 10 p.m. It's 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And Friday, May 18th, 5 to 11 p.m. And then Saturday, 12 noon to 11 p.m. And then Sunday, May 20th, it's 12 noon again to 6 p.m. And you've got your unlimited rides with the wristband specials, $25 or $20 with a discount coupon. And that's only good for Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Friday is not good on that day.
Correct.
Okay.
And those coupons are scattered out throughout Main Street merchants. So they're free. Just grab a coupon. There'll even be a coupon in the Concord Monitor too.
And then also on Saturday, you once again at 3 o'clock have the Granite State Roller Derby hosting the New England Derby mashup games, separate admission. And then of course it's the people that really are the beneficiaries, because you guys and ladies work so hard at the Kiwanis to put this fair on, but the proceeds support the mission of the Kiwanis to serve the children of the world. And everything from scholarships to local food programs, summer camp, youth sports teams, the big 3 area high school key clubs, along with the Christmas parade and the Christmas tree lighting. So you do a lot.
Our Concord Club sponsors 3 high school key clubs: Merrimack Valley, Pembroke Academy, and Concord High.
Whatever happened to Hopkinton and Brady? They're no interest.
Brady has a Rotary, very similar to the Key Club.
Yeah.
And Hopkinton also.
Oh, that's too bad.
But we would be stretched pretty thin because we also had Pittsfield.
I was going to say, yeah, Pittsfield was in there too.
And we don't have the manpower to cover all the high schools because they usually meet during the daytime. But we're looking forward to the 63rd annual. And again, it's hard to believe that 63 years.
I know, when you think about it, you know, this is just like, where did time go? You know, and again, like I mentioned, all the faces that were there, you know, and who was it? Anita Wormett. Is she still living?
Yes.
She's still living. She used to be down there. Then Yvonne Wheeler. And she's still living, right?
Yes.
But she's not a member no more.
No.
Jane Berwick used to be involved heavily, and
Well, when they retired from their businesses, it's that transition type.
Yes. Yeah.
Even though some of us retired and stayed in the club.
Yeah.
But mostly when retirement comes, it's one of the things that they can give up.
I know it. It seems to happen too. But do you think, I mean, does the roller derby bring a lot of interest in that?
They have a certain following.
Yeah.
And whether they get 75 to 100, 150 people, it's their kickoff for the season too. They have a regular season where they play all their opponents.
You know what's interesting? And of course, since many of the original roller derby skaters. Now, I'm not talking about these. Of the roller derby that you used to see on TV in the 60s and 70s, and they had the helmets, and they were the men and women's teams, and the bank track.
Highly banked.
Yes. I communicate with some of those skaters that are living now. I've gotten to know quite a few of them on there, and we talk a lot about, and I tell them I was a fan of the San Francisco Bay Bombers, and we talked about that, and there were two leagues. One was the roller games, which was like a wrestling on skates, and then the roller derby, which was more of a sport, and that was the one with Joan Weston and Charlie O'Connell and all those skaters that I used to follow. And it's funny how many of them have died. Weston died. O'Connell just died a year ago.
These are all the old pros.
Yeah,
from
Ronnie
the
Robinson.
old teams.
Ronnie Robinson, who was the son of Sugar Ray, died a couple of years ago. Bob Hine, the bald eagle used to call him, he's died. It's amazing. And I thought, wow, because I never thought they were that old to begin with. But then I think back, well, gee, that's 50 years ago. So that would put them up there in their 70s or some of them 80s era. You know, but you know, it was quite a sport. And then I seen a paper where Bruno Sammartino, the wrestler, died. You know, I get forgetting. I guess we're all getting up there, but still. But still.
When you hear names like Bruno, you still imagine him still wrestling somewhere, but
I know.
he was in his 70s. He was
yes, he was.
Well past his prime.
Yeah. Chief J. Strongbow and Haystacks Calhoun, the 601-pounder.
And Yukon Eric.
Yes, that was my grandmother's favorite. She loved Yukon Eric.
Vern Gagne was one of the original
Killer Kowalski.
From Massachusetts.
Yes, he was, yeah. Yes, he was from Massachusetts. But, you know, it's just, you know, if he could just go back to the days when the fair was really, it's just, now, who's the rides this year? Who do you have?
Scott Miller Amusement.
From Webster.
Right.
And he subcontracts to bring the big ones in.
Right.
Because he don't have the big ones.
He's got probably 14 rides of his own.
Yeah, but they're all small.
And then he brings in the big ones.
Because that's what the kids are looking for, the bigger, you know, well, I shouldn't say bigger, the kids.
The zipper, the Ferris wheel.
Well, Ferris wheel is considered a minor ride now. They want the big thrill rides, like the the Scrambler, and that really isn't either. The one that was the Flying Bobs, remember that one? They called it the Himalaya, the Flying Bobs, and wherever else. And
I can't imagine Dick, you being on one of those things that swings back and forth and goes upside down.
No, thank you. That was the Paratrooper. They used to have that. That was one of the ones that was down there. But that zipper, I've seen that one. That's not for me. Then they used to have the, oh dear, what was it called? The Traban, which used to come up on its side. And now I haven't seen that around lately. But, you know, some of those rides, you know, it's sad because then you read on the news once in a while how one of those rides gets stuck and they have to help the people off or something.
They usually seem to be the professional, the big theme parks.
Oh, yes.
They're the ones that seem to have the trouble.
Yep, can't, I know it.
And these traveling road shows, Scott will be someplace else, every weekend, and no doubt the state fire marshal, they must inspect all their rides.
Well, remember when Concord used to get, starting in April, we would have seemed like every weekend somebody would have a traveling carnival. You'd see them at First National in the parking lot, or you'd see them up at Grand Union up on North State Street, or you'd see them down by Carlson Motors at that time. There'd be a few rides there sometime.
Behind Keniston's.
Yes, and then if you'd see them up to Walmart or down by Brits at one time, down the Capitol Shopping Center.
They were sort of like fillers.
Yeah.
They probably had an open date.
Yeah.
They got permission to set up.
Yep.
Pay their permits, and
that was it. And they'd be gone. And then came the Kiwanis Fair, and then that was almost like the finale, because then off they went to other places, because you were like the big one, and that was it. But
the others sort of faded.
Yeah, there used to be some big ones there, because I can remember as a kid, boy, it was always amusement rides coming into town, carnivals, and then once in a great while you'd see a circus come in, but not too often. But I don't know.
It's too bad the Ringling Brothers is gone.
Yes, they're gone now. Yeah, because the people now protest the animal groups, the cruelty to animals, the elephants and the lions and all that. But
one of the ones that came at the bottom of Gully Hill Road was the Lane's, behind the Lane's garage.
Yes, I remember that out there.
That was that the King Brothers circus?
I think so. I can't remember, but I think so. I remember that.
And the big open field.
Yep.
Before.
Yes, there was.
Before the shopping center.
And I see you down at the arena, usually on Tuesday or Wednesday, lining up this thing there so people don't cross the road wherever they feel like it.
Right.
Got that? Yeah. I said, boy, what are we ever going to do if Chris Pappas ever, retires? And it makes you wonder: is Andrew going to be out there, or some of those other younger ones? But
well, we're always trying to recruit younger members, because there'll come a day when some of us old timers will just be in the background. There's a lot of work to putting on the fair, and twice the work putting on a one-day car show. The carnival is 4 days. The car show is 1 day, but the car show takes a lot.
Yes, and you've got your flyer already started on the car show too, coming up on Labor Day, week after Labor Day on September the 8th at New Hampshire Tech Community College over there.
That's going to be the 33rd car show, Dick.
Wow. 33rd. 21 classes and everything.
The first car show was where the Discovery Center is now.
Yep.
Those are the first 3 car shows. But they have all been at the tech school. We've been very supportive.
I'm wondering
of
too.
The paramedic program.
You've been very supportive down there. I see on this one it says no pets. What about the arena? Is there no smoking on the grounds there and no pets too? Or they can do what they want down there?
They can do what they want. The problem with the car show is because of some very expensive cars.
Oh yeah, yes.
And what prompted that was about 8 or 10 years ago, where we had a shepherd jump up on a car and scratch a newly painted car.
Oh, gee. I bet you had some fireworks then.
There was. The person who owned the car went personally after the dog owner, which was covered under his homeowner's policy.
Yeah.
So we try not to have animals down there.
Well, I'll tell you.
And the tech school does have a no smoking policy, except in designated areas.
Well, and that's one thing about Concord, because some of the city parks they can't be smoking in either. And I said that about the Easter egg hunt. And I said, I think you can't be smoking in the parks there, or the animals either. Or you gotta have a doggy bag if you're gonna be doing that, because But well, we're coming to a close of Around Town, and Chris, it has been a pleasure once again having you on here and talking about the 63rd annual Kiwanis Club Spring Fair coming up on May the 17th to Sunday, May 20th. Get your ride to the coupons early, then you'll save yourself $5. So other than that, it's $20 with a coupon, or $25 without the coupon. And go down and have some delicious fair food. Go down and see your friends of the Kiwanis, or your own other friends who can come down there and visit and walk around, and think of the days when you used to ride, what they used to call them, what was it, my uncle used to call them the Derby horses or something, they used to call them. Ride the Derby cars, and something like that, he used to call them. They used to have all those things inside there, the bumper cars. But there was also something they used to call the Derby horses or some darn thing. But anyway, he used to relive the memories of all those carnivals, but it took us kids.
But now you can bring the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
So it's such a Concord tradition.
And I don't have any grandkids, so I'm up out there, so I'm still a grandkid. But anyway, with that in mind, give Chris Pappas a call, or go on their website, and that would be,
ConcordKiwanis.org.
ConcordKiwanis.org, and that'll give you all the information. And watch it on here on CCTV and on my director Ian Marx's YouTube website. He's got a whole page of all the shows on there, and you'll see it from now till next year. So with that in mind, thank you, Chris, for coming on, and have a great fair, and I'm sure I'll see you down there. Gotta come down and have something to eat.
Great.
Walk around a little bit and say hello and whatever. But
thank you for your help, and thank you for your time, and hope to see you all down at the Everett Arena.
Well, we will. Take that in mind. Thank you to Ian Marx. We'll have a great day, and wish for great weather for your fair.
Thank you.
Good.